What is shaking, everybody? Hello, Stephen Douglas.
Thomas Byron, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Let me take care of a little bit of business here. I want to let everybody know the show is sponsored by Fieldwork, the official non-alcoholic craft beer of the San Jose Sharks. And if you've been paying attention, when Tyler Toffoli scores or gets an assist, you win. You get 50% off your next draft beer the very next day at Fieldwork, and he's been doing some scoring lately. He's been tallying. He's on the sheet. So get into Fieldwork, grab yourself a draft, grab yourself a non-alcoholic beer, and remember, when you go down to the tank to watch your beloved Sharks who've been playing pretty good hockey lately, you're not into the beer thing? Well, grab a non-alcoholic one maybe, or maybe you're the designated driver. It doesn't matter. If you want non-alcoholic beer, you want craft beer, you want good beer, think Fieldwork down at the tank, the official non-alcoholic craft beer of the San Jose Sharks. Well, Steve, I mean, there's no war that I know of going on, and I'm no FDR, but this is the best I could do. These are the fireside chats.
I was going to ask if you were toasting marshmallows, but let me just say something. You know,
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of shows in my time. Everybody's got a sponsor. Never has there been a more appropriate sponsor. You have loved Fieldworks forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
And I'm just it just makes me happy when I see the sponsorship that's about more than just the money.
Exactly.
This is real, so it makes me happy.
Yeah. Now, what's the movie where they say sometimes a plan just comes together? And I can't remember. I know that's a line from a movie, and I'm going to be embarrassed when somebody tells me what it is because I know it's one that I've seen before. But yeah, sometimes a plan just comes together. It made perfect sense, right? You know, I love Fieldwork. I've been a customer forever, and they're the ones I kind of wanted to be the first sponsor of the show. So I'm very happy that they are. So you're in Denver, getting ready for the Nuggies tomorrow. Before we get to last night's game and the first couple weeks of the season. Give me a little status report. Do we know anything more about Steph and Jimmy and Dre the 24 hours before the game?
Steph will be out. He didn't even come on the plane.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still sick, and there was never a question with the way he woke up this morning. We didn't want him to come on the plane and get everybody else sick.
Yeah.
And, come to altitude and play a game and get even worse, and then it lingers on. So the hope would be that he's ready for Indianapolis on Sunday, but we'll see. He's just day to day, and Jimmy and Dre are both on the trip, and I'm hopeful they'll both play, but we'll see.
Got it. So the one thing, and I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but the one thing I took out of last night's game was Will Richard has been really good so far. And if he's not already there, he's going to be pushing for rotational minutes very, very soon because he's what the team needs, a solid basketball player.
Yeah, that's right. Solid. I'm glad you used the word solid because our team is going to be hearing that word over and over again the rest of the season. We have to have solid. We have to. And, I've said it forever. I mean, I've coached Dre and Steph for 11 years now. Our team is always at its best when we can surround Steph and Dre with solid. Think back over the years, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, David West, Zaza. You get these pros who just take care of the ball and get organized and make solid play after solid play. If you don't have that, then the chaos of Steph and Dre just becomes too much chaos. And so I think that's what's happened here in the early going. I mean, we're actually doing fine, but we've given a couple games away, and it can't happen. We have to have solid, and you nailed it. Like Will Richard is solid. I mean, I didn't call a single play for him last night, not a single play. And he had 30 points because he just kept cutting and spacing and shooting when he was open and moving the ball. And you're right, he's knocking on the door right now.
It's funny. It reminds me of a story, and you were there for this story. Remember when we were we were playing for the we were both magicians, and we were playing in Charlotte. And you remember the game against Charlotte? I had 18 like in the first half. I was running off the bench. I'm on fire. I get 40. And Steve and I were like, oh my God. Little did we know that's the last shot I would get until the end of the fourth quarter. But I think about that because those 18 points, no plays were scripted. I just found my way and got the points. And then I had the audacity, apparently, because I'd never had that feeling on an NBA court before where I was like, I could pretty much do anything I want to do. I go, okay, can we run this play? You know, it was like, I had 3 plays. It was one of them. And I think it's where Shaq gets the ball on the left block. He gets doubled. I start on the right block and I kind of curl up toward the top of the key. He gets doubled. He finds me and I shoot a 15-footer. And I remember going, hey, Marty or Matty, can we, what about that play? And he just looks at me and goes, just keep doing what you're doing. I think the first.
I remember that moment you came off the floor. I'm on fire. And you were on fire.
I was, and I got doused by my own team.
You had 18 with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and if I remember,
no, I had 18 with 9 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Second quarter.
No, you said first quarter. Yeah, it was the second quarter.
It was
a
barrage. And then you finished with 20, I think, right?
No, 18.
You didn't even get another bucket.
I didn't score again. Steve, the next shot I got was with 3 minutes left in the game.
Oh, too good.
I go, I'd never been. I mean, they brought out the fire extinguisher, except it was my guys. It was friendly fire. Dennis Scott said, "That's bullshit. That's enough of your shit."
You were getting way too many shots, Tom.
I was getting way too many shots. The other guys were like, "Wait a minute now, I need my shots." I was like, there's going to be like 70 more games. You could. Nah, I guess you got to have them now. But it's interesting when you say that because I start thinking in my mind about the really, really good teams in the NBA, and if you're lucky. I thought Spurs, and I thought Ginobili was kind of wild. Parker was kind of wild. But Pop was so lucky in that Duncan was about as solid as they come and a top 10 player to ever play the game. And you don't necessarily get that all the time because your stars can do things other players can't do. And to be able to do that, you almost, by definition, have to be a little reckless sometimes to get that magic that they bring to the court. The amazing thing about Duncan was there was really no reckless in his game, and he's still one of the best players of all time.
Yeah, I think of Steve Nash too, he would turn it over 4 times a game in Phoenix, but it didn't matter because everybody else would take care of the ball and he'd get 14 assists and score 20 points. And it's always about the ratio, and so I've always been fine with Steph and Dre's turnovers to a point. You have to draw the line somewhere, but they create so much good for us. They've handled the ball so often over the years, and they create so much on their own, so much offense for themselves and others. So you have to live with some of their turnovers, but that means the rest of the guys have to take care of the ball, and you have to find that balance. And that's where we are right now. We're just too loose, too wild, and ultimately, what's going to happen is the guys who emerge as the solid stabilizers who are playing next to Dre and Steph. That's why Jimmy was the perfect fit for us last year, right?
Yeah.
He came in, he took care of the ball, stabilized everything, and we went 23-8. So, look, we have the formula. We know exactly what we have to do here, and that's take care of the ball and execute offensively, do a better job crashing, and helping our transition defense. And if we do those things, we'll consistently win. I have no doubt.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's interesting turnovers. The turnovers in the third quarter last night were probably more glaring, but I thought a couple of them kind of started in the second quarter when you guys built up. I want to say it was a 13-point lead, and it was weird because at halftime you guys were at 5, and I thought, if I was not keeping track of the score, I would have thought you guys were up 10-12 just by the way the flow of the game was going. But the turnovers kind of brought them back into it, and then the turnovers in third quarter were just backbreakers. But I thought the second quarters were you got up big and guys got, this is kind of fun. You got a little loose, and all of a sudden it's like, bang, ball game.
There were two of them in particular that both turned into threes at the other end. One was an and one, the other was a 3-point shot. But those two plays, we're up like 11 and we get a stop and we're running down the floor with an advantage. And they were both just careless, plays where they weren't forced at all. And the message to the guys, and I've already been talking to them about that this year, but the league has changed. And, maybe 7-8 years ago, we could make those turnovers and win the game because we were so talented. And we were the team that was shooting all the threes and other teams weren't. Now everybody's shooting threes and everybody's playing fast. So if you turn it over when you don't, when it's an unforced error, the momentum shift in the modern NBA is dramatic. And if you don't account for that, then you're going to lose.
Well, we saw, what was it last year? You guys had a 29-point lead in Houston, and they came back and forced overtime. You guys ended up winning the game, but I mean, that stuff you didn't used to see because it was more.
That's
even
right.
Though, like when we played the game, I can, and I don't know if you'd agree with this. I think the game was faster and maybe because I played for the Warriors and we played ultra fast, but there were teams that played faster than today's NBA. But you add in pace and the 3-point shot, and that's just such a combustible combination to where, like you said, you turn it over and 15-point lead you used to have to kind of claw your way back into a 15-point deficit from a 15-point deficit. Now 3 minutes and you could have the lead.
That's what I said to Terry on the bench the other night. We're up 14 on Phoenix with 8 minutes left, and they're missing two of their top three scorers.
Yeah.
I said to Terry, I said, can you imagine even 7-8 years ago, like feeling nervous in this set of circumstances? He said, no. He's like, it's just completely different. Those leads evaporate so quickly. And it's really weird because like that game very easily could have gone to 20 with two possessions, right? And just as easily it could have gone to 8, which it did. And so now we have to play Steph and Draymond all those extra minutes down the stretch to close the game out. But that's the difference. I think Doc Rivers said years ago, it's a make or miss league. And it's true, like, making and missing shots determines a lot. But if you go deeper into that, it's a possession league. If you get extra possessions and you're getting extra threes up, then you have the advantage. And so, yeah, from the beginning of camp to the end of the season, we're not going to stop harping on taking care of the ball. We give them the message every day. But what has to happen is guys have to execute, or we have to start making changes.
Yeah, it's interesting because over the last 10 years, I would say, when I get a box score at the end of the game, the first thing I look at is field goal attempts. That's the number one thing, because field goal attempts equal, more opportunity. Not only are you not getting opportunities, they're getting extra opportunities.
Yeah.
And is that because of offensive rebounds? Is it because of turnovers? But you see so many times where, and I've seen you guys do this multiple times, where you'd shoot better from the field, you'd shoot better from three, and you'd shoot better from the free throw line. You just get out free throwed and out field goal attempt by so much that it was almost impossible to make up the difference. So you end up winning all three of those battles, and you end up losing by 7 or 8 because they have 15 more field goal attempts.
Yeah. So it really does become about math, and it's not that complicated, and that's why everybody's crashing now too. In the old days, our coaches always told us sprint back, get back.
Yep.
Well, the only guys who would go for the rebound were the 4 and the 5 if they were in the paint, but the other 3 guys had to sprint back. Now across the league, all 5 guys are crashing and just trying to generate extra possessions. And whoever gets the extra possessions gets more threes up. Whoever makes more threes wins the game. It's really simplified these days.
No, it's crazy when you look at the 3-point. If you get up more threes and make more threes, you're gonna have a better chance to win the game. Like, I don't know that I I love it, but I mean, look, that's just the way the game is played nowadays. So let me ask you about one of the new trends this year that I didn't really pay much attention to, but I guess it's a big deal. A lot of teams are picking up full court now and trying to get more possessions or tire guys out. I don't know how successful it's going to be. I mean, maybe we don't even see this come February or March. I'm not really sure. Like, what do you make of that one? Because the
Yeah.
rebounding thing you brought up wasn't a deal. Like even 3 years ago, that wasn't a deal, and because of the analytics, it's like okay, now we see the benefit of sending more guys to the offensive rebound, not the offensive glass. Let's not worry about
Right.
fast breaks. What do you make with the new kind of trend picking up full court?
Well, I think it's all connected. I think the another analytics piece for you. The best possessions, points per possession wise, all happen in the first 6 seconds, 7 seconds of the possession. In other words,
Huh.
if you can get a shot up in the first 6 or 7 seconds of the 24-second shot clock, it's by far the highest points per shot. So what teams are trying to do is keep you from getting the ball up the floor quickly and making you have to execute offensively. But the other reason I think it's happening is I think more teams are just playing their depth and realizing we can play 10 guys now. When you and I played, it was kind of 8 or 9 at the most.
Yep.
And now I think more and more teams are recognizing like the power of pace and just putting pressure on. I know you watch Premier League a little bit. Think of
Yep.
the difference now pressing in the Premier League and soccer. Like in the old days, teams used to sit back. And
Yep.
now, like every team is pressing like crazy. So the demand on these players is really pretty dramatic. And the same thing's going on in the NBA, trying to put more pressure up the floor, trying to make mistakes because that's a great way to change the momentum and to make things tougher on your opponent.
Yeah, you see it happen in the in the NHL too when it comes to power plays. Instead of like getting back in your four-man shell, I mean, these guys are firing out, trying to make these guys make quick decisions and maybe make a mistake. At
Wow.
least you could clear the puck, or if
Mhm.
not, maybe you can get a shorthanded opportunity. It's interesting because I've always felt that way, and that's kind of the way we played when I was with the Warriors. It's like if you have a good shot early, take it because you might
Yeah,
not get that shot
that's right.
again.
That's right.
And if you're a terrible decision making team, you just might fucking turn it over. So it's better to get a shot than turn it over.
It's great.
But I'm all, so how do those two things kind of jive, Steve?
Yeah.
Getting it up quick
Yeah.
gives your PPR a bump, points per possession or points per shot, however they phrase it nowadays, versus passing, which I know you believed early on, and I think you still do. Like the more passes you can make in a possession, the more chances the defense is going to have to
Yeah.
mess something up. And
That's
and so, how do those two kind of go together? Where we're going to play fast initially, and then after that, then we got to try to pass the ball. I mean, it seems like sometimes those theories kind of butt heads a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's possible to tie them together. My first year coaching, we were number one in the league in pace, and we were also number one in passes thrown per game. And so and I think the reason was we were generating a lot of extra possessions, just throwing the ball ahead to Steph or Clay, and they're launching a three. But then throwing the ball ahead and you don't have anything, that's where you get into your flow where back then, swing the ball to Bogut, DHO with Andre Iguodala, Andre swings it back, now all of a sudden you're
Yeah,
getting into your tic tac toe game. And
yeah,
that's always been our identity when we're at our best. It's also part of why we've turned it over a lot. More passes do equal more turnovers in some cases. So yeah, what we're trying to find is the balance. I mean, every time you throw the ball ahead, it's a good thing every time. Um,
yeah.
and what I tell our guys in our practice sessions, we do transition drills sometimes 3-on-2, 2-on-1. I just tell them, as long as you get a shot up, I don't care. Like just get a shot up. You don't need to get a layup. You don't need to just get a shot up and don't turn the ball over. And if they have that mentality, then we usually take care of the ball and we tend to play pretty well.
Is there a trend that's happening now because of analytics that maybe you buy more into now that, let's say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago when you first started coaching, that you would have said, nah, come on. Nah, no, I don't believe in that.
For sure, crashing the offensive glass
Really?
with 4 or 5 guys. Yeah, for sure. Even 2 years ago, I didn't really believe that was a good thing. And because it had been ingrained in my mind for every coach I ever had, shot goes up, you got to get back because you can't get beat in transition. So I think what the league has realized, if you crash 4, even 5 guys, you're going to generate enough extra possessions to offset, the occasional layup you give over the top. The
Yeah.
other thing that happens is when you do crash, a good percentage of the time you jam the guy who does get the ball for the other team, and the other guys on the other team are all kind of having to box out, and they don't end up with transition.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. But we've done deep dives. Our coaching staff does these deep dives on stuff every off season, and we've done that, and we've found that crashing, the more people we crash, the better our transition defense is. It sounds counter,
Really?
yeah, it sounds
Huh.
counterintuitive, and I think part of it is, if you don't crash and you get guys back and it's 4-on-3, the athletes are so fast and the shooting is so good these days that even if you have 3 guys back and it's 4-on-3, they're going to get an open look. They're going to get an open three, and so you'd rather just try to muck it up, get an offensive board, jam them. It's like just take away the
Yeah.
transition by doing that stuff.
Were you on the flyby challenge? Because this is something we used to do 40 years
Yeah,
ago, and I'm not sure. I mean, it made sense to me. You look like an idiot when you fly by and keep running down court, and the ball starts bouncing around. You're like, oh shit, I probably should be in there trying to help out on the glass. But it makes sense when you, especially now that you're challenging a 3-point shooter, so you're 25 feet away from the bucket. Your momentum's taking you toward half court. You're
right,
probably not going to be effective getting back and doing anything
right.
worthwhile in the rebounding game. Are you a believer that if you get out and challenge and you fly by, just keep going?
If you're at the top of the key above the break and you're challenging guy out there, I have no problem now because everybody's crashing. You
Yeah.
just go and you might get a layup. In the corners, I don't like the flyby because
Yeah.
I used to like it, and we used to teach it because you wanted to run guys off the 3-point line. My first 5 or 6 years with the Warriors, we taught the flyby everywhere because you wanted to
Yeah.
run them off the 3 and force them into a 2. But what's happened now? The whole league now is working on the sidestep
Yep.
3. And so now these guys are getting so good at the sidestep that we don't want to fly by anymore. We want to close out to the body, have a stick hand up, try to disrupt the shooter's vision, but we don't want to run past him and let the guy do the sidestep 3 without any shot challenge at all.
Yeah, to me that and to like I would try to mix it up occasionally. Like occasionally I would do the flyby. Like
Yeah.
occasionally I would do it just to put it in their minds, almost like a pitcher. Maybe you're
Mhm.
not a guy that throws inside a lot, but throw it inside off the plate just to let them know you're going to come
Yeah.
inside. Occasionally, you just don't know when it's coming. I think I would fly by occasionally just to make them think about it. But I think for the most part, the almost the fake like fly and then
Right.
stay on the
Right.
ground is the way to go because you're right. It used to be like Steph, Clay did it, Dame did it, maybe a handful of other guys. Now, everyone can do a sidestep
Everyone's
three.
doing it.
It's not
Everyone's
even a big deal. It's not even a big deal anymore. It's almost like a layup and layup line, like sidestep. Yeah, of course I got a sidestep 3. Everybody has that one.
I've,
So
I've, I've really found, Tom, that the last couple of years, like the fundamentals still matter, right? Like
yeah,
all the basic principles of basketball still matter, but the tactics are changing. The schemes, the tactics, how you get to those fundamentals. In other words, like you still want to contain penetration, you still want to protect the rim, but because of the pace and because of the 3-point line, you have to go about those things in a different manner. Some of the schemes that worked a few years ago are no longer working. Some of the ideas, just all of a sudden, the way the game is being played, we're having to rethink everything. And I think that's going on around the league.
Well, it's interesting. A play you guys used to run. I mean, I don't know. I can't even tell you how many times a game, but it was one of your staple plays, and I don't even know what you'd call it. It was where you'd post Draymond on the right hand side of the court,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'd run that split cut.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be Steph and Clay or Steph and somebody, and then the guy going to set the screen would dive to the bucket, and then Steph would come up.
Mm-hmm.
It was open all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, haven't these people seen this play? They had to have seen this play before. Yet it used to get buckets all the time. That's not a play that you run as much anymore because I think defenses are ready for it, and you got so many more defenders that are used to guarding that now that they're used to being able to switch off. They don't got to think about it anymore. I got dive, I got this. There's just a lot of stuff that I think you used to be able to do. A lot of teams used to be able to do that you can't do anymore because look, when you practice it all the time, you see it all the time, and everybody else is doing it. You just kind of get used to handling that sort of action.
We still run it, but not as often. And and I think part of the reason we're not running it as often is that we have space fives now with Al Horford and Quentin Post. And so we're trying to widen out our spacing and put guys at the 3-point line more often. And over the last, 9 years, 8 years, we've generally played with two bigs, Looney and Draymond, Bogut and David Lee, Draymond. So when you have two bigs, you have to execute more stuff and set more screens and be more deceptive. But with a space five, now you just spread the floor and run more pick and roll because the defense has to guard so much ground. And so we're trying to do that more this year than some of the, the two big stuff.
Before I let you go, you mentioned Quentin Post. I got to ask you about his defense. Obviously, I'm not watching it as close as you, but I'm watching it pretty closely. His defense seems to be a lot better this year. Like just his ability to defend the rim a little bit. He's a lot more physical than you probably think he is. Like he's a stretch five, and you think he's probably he's soft. He's a Euro. He's like he's got a little feistiness to him. Like he bangs. I think it was God, who's the why am I blanking on his name right now? The Clippers center.
Zubats.
Yeah. He was banging the crap out of Zubats. Like he wasn't giving him an inch. And I think that's been impressive so far this season. His ability to, he's never going to be a huge rebounder or a huge shot blocker, but he's blocked some shots. He's defended the rim. He's played physical. I think he's been a little bit a nice surprise defensively this year.
He's been really good at that end, and it's fun to see the progress, from year one to year two. Great competitive kid. I mean, he loves to play, cares, puts in the work, super coachable. I think it's helping too that we're starting him next to Draymond. Draymond is such an incredible defender and a help defender. That's one of the things I like about starting bigger. It allows Draymond to play center field. But we can still spread the floor, with Al or Quentin at the other end. And so we can still put Draymond in pick and roll and have the spacing on the perimeter. So I like where this is all going. We've blown a couple of games that we should have won, but we can see clear as day what our issues are. I love the roster. We're going to get Melton back, who's a fantastic two-way player. We just have to sharpen up and tighten things up. And I think settle into our rotations, and it's that part's not going to be easy, the rotation part, because we've got a lot of interesting pieces and good players, but we have to play the guys ultimately that are going to fit together, and so we'll find our groove. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I really love this team, and I'm excited about where we're heading.
Is it about as amazing that Steph's doing what he's still doing at his age? That goes without saying.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about how amazing it is that Draymond's still able to impact games defensively at his age, and the wear and tear on the tires, the bodies, the physicality that he plays with, the extra games during the playoffs that he's played with. I mean, this guy is still, no questions about it, an elite defender in this league. And I feel like we don't talk about like that, his ability to affect games defensively at his age and how many games he's played.
He's been incredible. Steph's been incredible. I think the thing we're finding is that with the pace that we talked about, the schedule so far has been brutal. These guys can still do it, but they're going to need some time to rest occasionally during the season to make sure they can still do it consistently, especially come playoff time. So, it's that's the thing that happens when you get older is when you keep yourself in great shape like Steph does. You can still do it, but man, the accumulation of 82 games is real, and it's even more real now with the pace and just the way this league is played. So we gotta help these guys, give them rest from time to time.
And I would imagine, speaking of rest, even though you said Steph wouldn't be playing Friday and Draymond still kind of, we'll see. If I'm you, I'm saying, Draymond, you're fucking playing. Not only do I need you out there, I mean, one game of you coaching here is fucking too much. I got to get you back out on the fucking court. Get your ass back out there.
We didn't need Draymond talking trash to Dennis Schroeder last night at the end of the game. I can tell you that. He made like 3 straight threes after Draymond started barking at him. It's like, no, leave him alone.
Oh, that is beautiful. Yeah. All right, Stevie. Well, before I let you go, congratulations to your Dodgers, too. That was a hell of a World Series, and I know you're as big a baseball fan as I am. That's what baseball, especially playoff baseball, gives us that no other sport can match. The intensity, the drama, the anticipation. Like, I didn't really, I wouldn't mind seeing Blue Jays win, but I didn't really care one way or the other, and I still felt like my heart was beating through my chest the last 5 innings. It was so tense, so taut. I love playoff baseball. And just what an incredible series.
It was so awesome. I genuinely feel terrible for Toronto's players. I was so impressed with John Schneider, their manager. His messaging, his interview, every interview was so cool just to see his poise and his confidence. And you could see why his players love playing for him so much. And then, all those fans they're 2 outs away, from watching.
Brutal.
But like you said, this is why baseball is so compelling. You get these moments, and there's so many of them. And then you're watching on TV, and there's so much time between pitches. They're showing people in the stands praying, and the drama of it all is incredible. And then, I've been a Dodger fan my whole life because my dad took my brother and me to games every summer. And it's always, baseball of all the sports is the most sentimental. It's the most, it's the sport that's generational, and you feel that family connection when you watch baseball. And so when you cheer for a team and they actually do win the World Series, it is pretty fun.
Yeah. 15-year-old Steve Kerr, if I were to ask a 15-year-old Steve Kerr, you could go pro in baseball or basketball, what would you have chosen?
At 15, basketball. At 9 or 10, I think baseball. I love baseball.
You did pitch in Dodger Stadium.
I did, Tom. I did.
Well, leave it at that, Steve. Just leave it at that. You pitched at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just leave it there. We don't want to talk about the results.
Who cares? Nobody even remembers results. I just remember you pitched at Dodger Stadium. And I'll leave you with this. The Dodgers, I don't know if they're the only team, but they're certainly one of a few teams that won the World Series and got swept by a last place team. They're crosstown rivals.
Oh. What did you call that? The halo tax for the money?
The halo tax that you owe me. Yes, the halo tax.
We had individual bets going on the Dodgers Angels.
Exactly.
I gave you odds.
Good odds. You gave me odds,
which you deserved. And they sweep 6 games from
6 games. I think it's 7 in a row because I think they won the last one last year and they won the 6th this year. Yeah.
So by the old what do they call it? Transitive properties.
Transitive properties. Yeah.
Yes, the Angels are the world champions this year.
I'm gonna go get my hat. Can I get it on MLB.com?
I think they made them, but then they sent them to like Africa to give to
Yeah,
the
they're in Uganda
charity.
somewhere. There's
Yeah.
kids over there wearing Angels championship
Yeah.
hats. Although I will say this, and this is where it was almost kind of sad because Steve was giving me the odds that you could get in, let's say, a casino. So I was getting like $1.50. We'd bet $20, and I'd only have to risk 15 to win 20. But by the end, the last two games, Steve goes, "This is ridiculous. I want odds now. I want to be plus 150." I'm like, "Good Lord. The Dodgers. I got to give you plus 150 on the Dodgers against the Angels."
But you guys clearly owned the Dodgers this year.
Being the friend that I am, and being that I was already up, I said, "Sure. I'll give you the odds." And then they won anyway. So
They won anyway.
It didn't matter.
Well, and I think we have a 7-team teaser going back and forth with each other that included. Oh wait, I better not go down.
Yeah, don't do that. It's way too soon for that. Way too soon. That's what is inside is inside.
I'll be hearing from the league tomorrow.
Oh, you're gonna have a meeting tomorrow. You kidding me? They're gonna fly up and meet you.
It's just jokes, to make sure, everybody. It's
just to make sure you understand the rules. It's kind of funny too. I find it funny. There's like, you could really, it's easy to get caught up in and I'm like, yeah, it's really fucking not. It really isn't. Anything having to do with the NBA or NBA properties, leave it alone. That's it. Move on.
It's not hard at all, Tom.
It's not that difficult. Yeah. So anyway, on that note, and by the way, who fucking plays 7-team teasers? Good Lord. I mean, there you go, Steve. That's what I said.
I'm guessing you have at one point in your life.
No. I've played teasers, and there's a name for them. They're called Wong teasers.
Of course.
And it's you either tease something from 2.5 or less than 3, 1.5 to 2.5 up to over 7, or 7.5 to 8.5 down below 3. And the theory is that you cross 7, 4, and 3. And that's that's the only teasers that I didn't know this because I never played them and I don't play a lot of them, but those are the only ones that apparently are worthwhile because you cross 3 key numbers. But I've never done let me do a cross sport multilingual teaser that they'll mix in like hockey and I mean it's starting to get into Art Schleister mode there.
But I should point out that if you call now to bet 365, you can get a $5 bet that's worth 10 if you do a Wong teaser. Is that right?
If you do, my teasers aren't Wong, mine are wrong. Is what they are.
Okay. I don't know. I thought I saw a promotion,
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, watching a game. I thought that was a thing. Maybe that was maybe
that's sports now, Steve. If you like those commercials, just watch a game.
That is the great irony of all this, right?
Yeah, it is.
We're obviously joking about all this, but
it's the way of the world.
Every sport now is in bed with the gambling companies, and it is what it is. But like you said, it's really not hard if you're involved in the leagues in any way. It's not hard. It's just don't bet on.
Don't bet anything having to do with your league. And then with the NBA, it's NBA, it's WNBA, it's the summer league games. It's the probably NBA Africa, anything that has NBA in it, even the video games like the 2K League, that's sponsored by the NBA. That's a no-go. Like anyway, if you're paying attention, it's not that difficult.
Hard. I'm glad we agree.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. Maybe they should have me do the meetings. I'll come in next year. I guarantee you I could do those meetings as well as the FBI could do them. In fact, strike that. I don't want the FBI coming to my house either. So you guys go ahead and handle the meetings. I could do them, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys. You guys go ahead.
Fair enough.
I don't need. Hey, Mr. Tolbert, Special Agent Jones with the FBI. So what do you know about 8-team teasers? And when's the last time you played? Oh, it's like Special Agent Boudreaux is what it'll be showing up at my my door. Stevie, as always, great time. Love talking hoop with you. Love talking to you. Enjoy Denver. See if you can get a win tomorrow. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Tommy. Always enjoy
All
it.
right, Stevie.
We'll
Take it
Bye.
easy, man. There you go. The head coach of the Golden State Warriors.